Hustle all year, ain't no day off. 25/8, ain't no day off. Hustle all year, ain't no day off. 25/8, ain't no day off.
Loke G o la barrieta, puro raps con la pinche neta. Shit on my name, pero
Publishing, Tha Plugg Magazine. I'm Loke G. We got a special guest here with us. Who are you, bro?
Man, I am the infamous Tex, man. Houston's own, Hustletown's own, Mr. Hustletown Network. And we out here, man. Salute to my guy right here, man. It's going down.
Hey, man, we're honored to have you. I appreciate you coming out here and sitting down with us, tell us the story. Like I told you earlier, we're trying to tell the story of Texas, and we don't want to leave nobody out, especially somebody as important as yourself.
Appreciate that, man. That's right, man. And you are the plug, man. So you know I'm gonna have to deliver it right here, man. It's really going down.
We're plugging them in right now, for real, with the facts.
Yes, sir.
We're in the downtown area historical site of Houston. So let's go back to history, man. Can you start at the beginning of who Infamous Tex is? Where did he begin at? And why is he an important person today in 2022? Can you take us back?
Man, it's one of them, everything connected to each other one way, you know, throughout life. So I'd say it started in, you know, middle school. I was always a music fan, but I guess middle school is when I started to really dig into Houston culture, like as far as, you know, DJ Screw, you know, the Fat Pad, SPM. You know, I think SPM was one of the big ones that broke the door down for me with, you know, trying to figure out, you know, my Houston background and history, you know what I mean?
Myself included.
Yep. And so I was, I want to say, this was like 99, 2000. So, you know, coming into the Houston music at that time, you know, I had to go back a little bit to find out more about, you know, the beginning of Screw and, you know, just
Hungry
backtrack. Back about, you know, learn about Ghetto Boys and, you know, just hearing that and, you know, kind of wanted to dig more into that, Scarface and Street Military. That's where it really started. And then from there, you know, I did like what a lot of other Houston hip hop heads, like myself, you know, I started doing music. You know, we all kind of dabble in it, I think, you know, whether you're an artist now or, you know, even doing interviews or whatever, it's kind of something we do. So I did that. I started music. I was Lil Tex at the time.
Okay.
And then I had my group, which was SOT, which was now Straight Outta Texas. It was Straight Outta Texas Records back then.
Okay.
But then I turned it now into the contest that we have. So we I kind of kept it alive once I started Hustletown, which, you know, there was a time where it wasn't doing nothing for a while.
Gotcha.
But I brought that back. But back then at the time, and I first started it as 713, which was spelled out 713 SOT. It was just a Houston thing.
Pause. You're originally from Houston?
Yeah.
Okay, born and raised here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, from the Northwest. I went to Jersey Village High School, you know, out there. That was, you know, Paul Wall, Comedian were real big at the time. You know, 2001, 2002, you know, Swisher House, 50-50 Twins, Slim Thug, you know, all that was right there, you know, in where we were at, you know what I mean? We were just young and hearing these guys and knowing that these local guys who are in, you know, from the Northwest that went to the same school, you know, it's very like, damn, I could do that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so I think it just kind of started a trend of other rappers also that were doing freestyle similar to Swish House. It's just kind of, I was part of that, you know, out the trunk era, you know, learning when I saw Swish House CDs, seeing that, well, this is, you could tell they burnt this.
We used to get like those same CDs,
you know,
and I used to have those same visions and feelings you're talking about back in those days. But I was in a small town somewhere else in Texas, and we used to look at Houston like the New York.
Right.
Like we had to come here
Yeah.
to meet all these people, and to you, I could only imagine what it felt like to be that these are the local guys around you.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're right here in my city because I didn't think Houston was very cool, you know, growing as a kid. You know,
Right.
Movies I would always notice they're made in, you know, everywhere else but here, right?
Yeah.
You know, New York and you know,
LA.
Godzilla's in New York, LA. They got all this, you know, the gangster films out there,
Right.
Ice Cube. It wasn't really nothing going down in the Houston scene at the time. You know what I mean? I think I know RoboCop and other stuff kind of went down and other stuff, but very minor. It wasn't like it is today for sure. Now more stuff's coming to Houston. The culture just wasn't popping like that,
Right.
you know. But to find out that we did have a Houston scene and you know, Lil Flip. I was a big Lil Flip fan. You know, like you know, a lot of us around my age group, you know, Flip. You know, UGK, you know, even learning all their stuff back from the early '90s, you know, going back. So I went down that wormhole, whatever you call it, you know, with this Houston, with the passion of it. You know, again, still doing my music too, and you know, having SOT. So I did that all through high school for years, really, up until like 2015. So this was from 2002, 2003 to 2015, where you know we were part of that whole Houston underground wave. You know. I call it like the Toke Bar era, or you know, here we used to have all those different scenes. There's been a lot of eras when it comes to the Houston local scene. You know what I mean? Now we got, you know, the current promoters out now that are running the game, but before there was a whole different couple eras of different promoters that have been doing this. So I've been able to see a lot of this from the early days. And you know, like I said, it's one of the things. All the knowledge and all the experience back then played pieces to what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? I was able to still take that. I'm not doing music no more, but now I'm taking everything I learned while I was doing the music.
You're still working in the industry.
You know, oh yeah, all the same plugs I met back when I was doing. Because I used to put our own shows together. You know, I had a group, but I was doing a lot of the footwork too. You know what I mean? And people were watching and seeing what we're doing. And I was trying to help other people. You know. I didn't, you know, learn what we were doing. You know what I mean? Like how to.
I did similar thing. I graduated in '04.
Yeah.
And we used to put together like charity events and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff that you're saying sounds very similar to what we were doing. Yeah. But continue, man. Talk to us. Tell us.
Yeah, man. Just you know, meeting those club owners and who are now owners of other clubs, but because I had the connection back then, I'm able. You know what I mean? Just kind of everything played in its role in position. But like I said, I stopped rapping in 2015. It was a crazy ex-girlfriend at the time, basically, that broke my hard drive and literally just killed Lil Tex at that time. At that moment, like all my stuff, I was one of them guys that would make music but hoard it. You know, at the time there were a lot of us doing that. Now these kids are just putting out shit left and right. They don't sit and wait on nothing. Back then there were still albums. Now these EPs are kind of boom, they're shitting them out left and right.
As soon as they recorded, they put it out.
Back then it was like, you know, I would stack up my tracks and want to get features and do all that, but you know, you have to have a budget. You know, I've been through all that before. Like we're not having a budget and feeling like, fuck, you know you're gonna make it, you know this is gonna be your thing. Well, we don't always get what we want the way we think it's gonna be sometimes. Exactly. That's something. Shout out to Jessica Jeans. That's something that you know she always some game and shit gave me as far as you gotta be. You know, you gotta. You may not be that rapper, but you may be a big producer or promoter or something else that you still in that passion. I'm still doing stuff I like. It's just a different way that I never thought I would have been able to do.
Yeah, shout out to Jessica G. I used to run into her a lot, just Latino out there in San Antonio when I used to do, because I used to be living in San Antonio back in the day. So for some reason, I kind of thought that you were from San Antonio too.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I get that a lot, man. But yeah, my dad's from San Antonio. I got family in San Antonio. I was born in Houston, but San Antonio is definitely my second home.
Yeah.
Same thing with Dallas. I mean, I'm in Dallas all the time too.
Yeah.
Man, really all over. Because I think I'm gonna be one of them guys that's just gonna be all over Texas for years. I don't think you know. My vision is gonna be mainly a Texas.
We have so many regions with the small counties and everything. Like it's a whole market.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because if we do like a run right now and hit up all the small towns in Texas and work with every county, their budget for their fair or whatever that they have.
Right.
The music industry is booming because they got concerts going on from El Paso down to Brownsville.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So like every region of Texas is separate. But I was born here in Houston, but I never lived here. I lived in the valley. You know what I mean? But when I moved to San Antonio for college, everybody used to say, "Hey, you sound all West Side." So like I was like, I'm from the valley. I don't even know what y'all talking about. But turns out that's where all the Mexicans are from.
Well, it's definitely a regional thing. You can tell, you know, Houston Mexican from a Valley Mexican. You can tell Houston Mexican from a Mexican from Mexico. It's still, I mean, they're really different things.
Yeah,
it is different things.
Yeah, definitely.
It's it's
regions.
Yeah,
it's regions. Yeah.
And everything adapts to what we do differently. You know what I mean? Houston and San Antonio rap sometimes is different. We got some. You know, and it's still a lot more lowriders. I would say the scene's still heavy on the lowrider scene in San Antonio versus Houston. It's more of a slab. So in California too. Exactly. So I know that Hustletown Network. I mean, we definitely got the Texas region as far as the artists, the people we play. We got our demographic down as you know, Texas, Dope House fans for sure, you know.
Definitely, yeah.
And then of course old school, you know, Screwheads. That's definitely our demographic too, and that's always been my thing. So like I said, still dabbling in the music. Back to when I said the 2015 and the music being destroyed right there on the spot. At the time, I didn't know, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Okay.
But as an
A
artist,
catalyst.
when you're an artist, you know, it was the most devastating thing for about 2 years up until we started Hustle Town Network.
Right.
But I didn't, you know, I just, you know, I'd be like
Grieving.
any other artist. I'd be pissed off,
Grieving.
mad, feeling like, grieving, feeling like, you know, like just
Ruined my life.
yeah, you know, and now everything else is the music on the radio they're playing is trash, this and that. That's just kind of my mentality at the
Came
time.
in.
You know, as an artist who's
grief, yeah.
who's not able to even put nothing out no more. So
Definitely. I could feel that, man.
so fast forward 2017, I was driving trucks and just, you know, in and out the Port of Houston. Shout out to the Port of Houston, Barber's Cut, Bayport, all them boys over there. Tommy G, you know, my cousin Chop, all them. We were I was out there, you know, just working. Wasn't really focused on music no more. Actually, I was doing some acting and stuff like that, getting into more on the acting side. You know what I'm saying? Doing a couple web series and, you know, short film series, you know, stuff with Art Institute, all kinds of stuff. I was kind of getting into that. I was already like accepting, all right, music ain't gonna be, I'm not gonna do that no more. And then,
Can you pause for a controversial question?
go ahead.
Did you just shout out Tommy G from Salty Water Radio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wanna? That's your friend.
My partner, man.
That's
Yeah,
your
he's been at my wedding, man. He's been a right hand man. Shout out Tommy G. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all them boys out there, man. But Tommy G, he's been like this. You know what I'm saying? Me and Tommy G been pretty cool. You know, he's been to a lot of events that we've been to. You know what I mean? Been to each other's houses, family. You know, Jessica, his wife. You know, just a whole bunch of stuff. We got a lot of respect for Tommy G. So,
Okay.
you know, salute to Tommy G.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, the question I was gonna ask is what do you think happened? Could you clarify a little bit for the streets? Because there was like people saying that he maybe had cooperated in the case with him and Pancho or something like that. And we can edit it out if you want.
Right.
This is just a moment for controversial right here.
Man, I mean, I don't know too much of the backstory on all that, bro. I mean, from what I know, I mean, I just know that they both did time.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was in there for a while. You think they were in? I guess he was in there a lot longer. So I don't see how that story will make sense, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
But,
definitely got some holes in it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And just by character, I guess, you know, he seems like a stand-up guy. So he's got a lot of real ones down with him that I guess they also see that, man. You know, nah, Tommy good.
Okay.
So in my opinion,
I've never had a
you know.
problem with either one of them, so I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Trying to get your opinion on it.
right.
But we can move on.
Yes, sir.
What else were we talking about? You started this record label in 2017. Is it a record label or is it a radio station or what?
Man, it took me a while to realize what it is. It was originally, it was supposed to be nothing more than just a small little weekly web show for 97.9 The Box. That's where a lot of our affiliation, because it did start, you know, with 97.9 The Box. I mean, they gave us our first platform to be able to post on their website. And then, you know, we post and share sometimes on the social media, because Jessica was working with 97.9 The Box. I wasn't working with The Box yet. I was still just working a regular 9 to 5, but starting this Hustle Town on the side. And actually started because, you know, it was something that Jessica wanted to have, like an extra blog type of thing to be able to promote on the air. Hey, go check us out, theboxhouston.com, and it's kind of a Latino. It did originally start as a Latino platform.
I think I remember, yeah.
And it was mainly not so much the new school Latino. It was more like the Tommy G's, the SPM, you know, all the Party 104.9 days is what we call it.
The music
you know.
that we used to listen to.
Yeah, the
growing
early,
up,
the
stuff
Lil
that
Bean,
inspired
and
us and all
Shut
that.
Them Down, you know, it was kind of to showcase more of that wasn't getting played like it was before. You know what I mean? So that's what it originally was. And we did our first interview with GT Garza on April 20th. I remember it was 4/20 of 2017. So that was like our first when we filmed, you know, anything. So I would say that was the birth of really Hustle Town Network.
Yeah.
So we were just gonna get it, you know, interviews and kind of include segments, and you know, then we decided to put music videos, which I never planned to put music videos at all with Hustle Town. It was supposed to be more like I'll shout out Newsfix. If you know, if you're from Houston and you remember in the early 2010s, we had Newsfix. shout out to the guys who produced that show. It was kind of like it was a 1 hour Houston local news type of thing. We had like even Bun B was playing a segment on their Bun's Beat every week, and it was more hip hop Houston stuff you would hear. Even the instrumentals they would use was very Houston.
Right.
So it was very different from ABC 13 and your normal news. And I was like, that's kind of what I wanted, but a 5-minute little segment, just informative stuff for the Latin culture here in Houston. Right. But anyways, yeah. So we shot our first interview, and it just kind of grew from there. The first month, it grew into so many different things. It became, a music show. The next thing it became was a music video live stream show on Facebook Live. Back when people were starting to do, the DJs were starting to go Facebook Live, and then we started. We found a way to be able to play music videos on there. So I would create like 1 hour video mix series, and we ended up, we got the same voice guy from the box, you know what I mean, as far as our sound, so it's very like a visual version of you listening to radio in a way.
Right.
But we would play the stuff that you didn't hear on the radio.
The stuff that wasn't regular rotation.
Yep. And then, we had to learn, copyright strikes, and, we had all these error and learning how to fix.
I can imagine.
It was so many different things when we stopped doing that. And I want to say in late 2017, going into 2018 is when we started Straight from the City with Candyman. We had started that, which eventually turned into Straight Outta Texas.
Okay.
But it was a local, just, mainly supposed to be local, playing all the guys that you don't get on the radio, right? It was a Latin video mix, just like Rap City The Basement.
Gotcha.
I had homies that already had studios that we used their studio. We set up the brick panels, famous brick panels you always see in Hustle Time Network shows.
Yeah.
We went and got all of our character segments, DJ, all that. Shout out my boy, RIP to my boy DJ Psych the Hype. He was our first Hustle Town Network DJ. He just died about 2 months ago.
Damn.
So yeah, man, he passed away too soon. Passed away. I'm gonna say it was August 2nd. It was on a Tuesday. He was my 2 for Tuesday partner to go. We would show up to. So R.I.P. to him. But yeah, so I got all the homies that I came up with in the rap game to come out and be my camera guys and hosts. At first, I wasn't never supposed to be a host at all. That's why we had teamed up with Candyman, and that was.
You have to take that responsibility.
Oh yeah, and we did 5 episodes of Straight from the City. So it was. I mean, I did everything as far as from the writing, the script. It was scripted. At the time, it was a lot more than we do now. Now we freestyle these shows a lot more.
Right.
Fluent, but. Before we were doing a lot, and the weekly shows, and at the time too, I ended up losing my job too. I messed up my hand, so I couldn't drive 18-wheeler shifting no more. So I had to stop, and we started doing this show, and that's when I was really pushing Hustle Town Network even harder. So yeah, we started that hip hop show. Had our own commercials, everything, and then about 5 episodes in, we had to stop the series of Straight from the City. It was just differences between me and Candyman. Basically, it was just a learning experience for us both.
Right.
We both really didn't know what we were getting into on the business side of how this works. So I had to revive the whole show. I just repackaged the show into Straight Outta Texas.
Okay.
I already had a label called Straight Outta Texas at the time.
Yes.
And it was Straight from the City. So I'm like, well, shit. Why don't I do Straight Outta Texas? Include Dallas, include San Antonio, Austin. It made total sense. And I'm like, holy shit. And I still got the studio. It's my, you know what I mean? It was like, fuck it. So we repackaged it. I got K-Dog to be a host. And then from there, me and K-Dog just hosted it. You know what I'm saying? And I had to put myself in front of the camera eventually because I just couldn't depend on a lot of the hosts that I was getting. I was getting other hosts too. And each one, were an artist. That's why I really don't include too many artists on the hosting side, man. It's just it's something with being an artist and host. It's just, you got to be one or the other. The
creative mind is not too technical, man.
There's always a motive. Everyone wants to still, at the end of the day, promote themselves. And it's like, to me, it's like going to work at Foot Locker to get discounts on shoes all day. You're cutting in line for all the artists that we're actually trying to open the door for. Like, you're going to sit there and hold the door open with me, or you're going to be trying to, cut in. And that's kind of the problems we ran into a lot of times with our previous hosts. You know what I'm saying? And so I just said, fuck it. I had to get in front of the camera myself. And I wasn't, I used to do music, so I was like, all right, I can get this. It took a while to get comfortable with it. If you go back and look at previous episodes, there was a lot of editing where, we fucked up a lot. Right. Me and K-Dog, but we both got it to where now we're just comfortable, and now we just freestyle the show.
It's a walk in the park.
Yep. So we did that 2019, switched it to Straight Outta Texas. And then from there, we've just the whole network itself's been just growing. You know, now we're doing virtual concerts, and we've done stuff for Screw, the Day of Unity 2020 virtual concert. You know, 3-hour virtual concerts that are like, man, when I go back and look at our catalog sometimes, and just on the road sometimes with my boy, we're driving, and I'm like, damn, we got shit for days of all kinds of shit in just the past, going on maybe 5 years now. I think we just hit our 5-year anniversary, so man,
it's a musical crusade, man. And sometimes it ain't all about being the leader, you know. Sometimes you gotta be able to learn how to follow to be able to get to the position. And if you fight your destiny, you try to build the bridge instead of walking down the river a little bit. You might find a boat.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So it's good how life just molds you into who you're gonna become, because without your past experiences, you wouldn't be able to apply it now with your vision of where you're taking your company. You see what I'm saying?
I think that's a good reason why we have a good relationship with a lot of the artists. Like I was an artist. You gotta remember, it's like I was shooting in the gym with y'all. Like I know what artists want, what they rather get. I know when we do these contests, like I was a lot of contests that were done before we're doing what we're doing, even for years back when I was doing music. This has been going on forever. It's not like we're creating nothing new.
Right.
But if I can create some that is now changes the game on and the rules on how these contests are done, because I've been seeing how these new up and coming contests have been. Now they're starting to incorporate shit where you win or lose, you're gonna get something, because a lot of these other contests, they were just you enter, you lose, you don't get shit. And it's like here, you know, people want to be on Hustle Town Network. We can give an opportunity for anybody to get on. You don't have to be a famous artist to be on here. Exactly. If you want to enter in, you can get on Straight Out of Texas and make a name for yourself. We've had some winners that didn't have any type of following, that we've never heard of any of these guys. Some of them, then they win this contest and then they get on to the next level.
Exactly.
You know, case in point, that Mexican OT. He was destined to be great regardless if he ever ran into me. He was gonna fucking blow up. He just needs exposure. But him getting to
that's
me,
what we're in the business of exposure. That's why I tell people, if you're boring, we're gonna expose that you're boring. So make sure you're not boring.
Right.
You know?
We got hit and miss. I mean, I want to say we got a lot of people that you can tell it's their first time performing or they need some work, you know, and we showcase it all. It's like, you know, you're going to get it uncut and raw with a Straight Out of Texas show.
Yeah,
some people, you know, they'll need some work, and then some people are good, and it's like, damn, he's too good for the contest.
Exactly.
And you get a mixture of everything. We get good winners. We get good outcomes. Every artist walks away. They're still going to get their interview. They're going to get their performance filmed and uploaded on Hustle Town Network. So you're going to walk away with some, and if you win, you're going to walk away with that grand prize package, which is like 50-something different prizes.
Exactly.
They get 10 different interviews. Of course, one being right here on your platform.
Exactly.
So,
here at AKM Publishing, you know, we take care of plugging everybody in nationwide. And after these interviews are complete, we will actually publish it. So it becomes a publication you can use for verification and stuff like that. So if you're an artist, you might want to consider that, you know?
There you go. I'm telling you, we got a whole bunch of great platforms just like this one alone right here. This is just one of like 50 different. So we got like 10 different podcasts. We got 10 different beats, actually 13
Marketing
different beats.
Bananas.
They get to be, they're going to be performing at the day of, we're not having a Day of Unity this year. They're going to be doing SPM's birthday party celebration. So they're going to be able to perform there. They're going to get, a whole bunch of different stuff, bro. I wish I had the list in front of me. But they get the Hustle Town tumblers, shirts, all that.
We'll include it. Just send it to me. We'll put it on here.
It's going to be a mean, when y'all look at that, it's going to be dope.
Yeah, man. Well, let me just get you to shout out our CEO, Free AK, and my little brother, Free Brickavelli, for us real quick.
Okay. Free AK's
Free
guy?
AK and Free Brickavelli.
Okay. Man, Free AK and Free Brickavelli, man. I'm telling you. Come on, man.
Perfect. Yeah. We're pretty much out of time, so if you want, I could just do the outro, and if you could do your shout outs, and then we could close it up from there. But it was perfect, you know what I'm saying? So, AKM Publishing, I'm Loke G. This is Infamous Tex with the Hustle Time Network. Appreciate you pulling up on us, player.
That's right, man. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everything y'all are doing for the Hustle Town and for everywhere, really, for all the artists that need a platform like this, man. We need more platforms, man. I encourage other people, man, to not always, you don't always have to be a rapper. We need more promoters. We need more camera guys. We need more interviewers, everything, man. Even with the social media game right now, man. you know, TikTok, all that, man, influencers, all that, man. So don't always feel like you gotta be a rapper. There's all kinds of stuff we need. Anyways, your boy Infamous Tex, man. Hustle Time Network, 97.9 The Box. I'm out.
Peace.
Hustle all year, ain't no day off. 25-8, ain't